Episode 9 opens in a way that feels almost too normal. Conversations are shorter. Faces hold back emotion. People say what they need to say, but never what they really mean. This is not accidental. The episode is built on restraint. Everyone is holding something in, and the audience can feel it. There's a heavy sense that time is running out, even though no one mentions it. The world of oil fields, deals, and power keeps moving forward, but the people inside it feel frozen, stuck between fear and pride. The central character moves through this episode with a different kind of energy. There's no panic, no anger, no loud reaction. Instead, there is focus. A sharp, quiet focus that tells us something has already shifted inside him. He listens more than he talks. When he speaks, his words are careful, measured, almost cold. This is the behavior of someone who has stopped hoping for a clean way out. He's not asking what's right anymore. He's asking what will work. The episode uses silence as a weapon. Long pauses stretch conversations. Eye contact lasts a second too long. Small gestures carry more meaning than full speeches. A simple look across a room feels heavier than a threat. This is where Landman shows its strength. The danger isn't in what characters say. It's in what they don't say. Everyone knows something bad is coming, but no one wants to be the first to admit it. Power dynamics quietly shift in these opening moments. Characters who once felt confident now hesitate. Those who used to follow begin to question, and the ones who were ignored before suddenly matter. Episode 9 doesn't announce these changes. It lets them happen naturally, almost invisibly. That's what makes them unsettling. The ground is moving under everyone's feet, but they're pretending it's still solid. What makes this calm so disturbing is that it feels final. This is not the calm before a storm that can be avoided. This is the calm before a decision that has already been accepted. The episode is telling us, without words, that the line has been crossed somewhere off-screen. We're just waiting to see the consequences catch up. By the end of this section, the audience understands one thing very clearly. No matter how quiet this episode starts, there is no version of this story where everyone walks away unharmed. The silence isn't peace. It's a warning. And once episode 9 begins, there's no turning back by the time episode 9 reaches its middle. The story stops circling the danger and walks straight into it. This is where the episode makes its boldest move. A choice is made that cannot be explained away, softened, or reversed later. What makes this decision hit so hard is not how sudden it is, but how long it has been building. Every compromise from earlier episodes, every ignored warning, every moment of silence leads directly to this point. The central character understands exactly what he is doing. There is no confusion on his face, no struggle left in his voice. He knows the cost, and he accepts it. That acceptance is what changes everything. In earlier episodes, mistakes felt like reactions. This time, the move is deliberate. He chooses control over loyalty, survival over fairness, power over trust. And once that choice is made, the person he used to be no longer exists. Pressure plays a huge role here. The world around him has closed in from every side. Deals are failing. Enemies are closer than they appear. Allies are becoming unpredictable. Instead of pushing back, he adapts in the most dangerous way possible. He stops trying to protect everyone. He stops trying to be liked. He decides that if someone has to lose, it won't be him. What makes this moment unsettling is how calm it feels. There's no dramatic speech, no emotional breakdown. The decision happens quietly, almost casually, like signing a paper or closing a door. That calm tells us something important. This isn't about anger or revenge. It's about belief. He truly believes this is the only way forward, and that belief makes him more dangerous than any enemy standing against him. Other characters sense the shift immediately. Conversations change tone. Trust becomes fragile. People begin to question where they stand, even if they don't say it out loud. The atmosphere tightens. every interaction feels like it could be the last honest one. The episode shows how one decision doesn't just affect the person who makes it. It poisons the entire space around them. There's also a deep sense of isolation in this section. Once the line is crossed, the central character is alone, even when surrounded by people. He can't share the truth. He can't look back. The weight of the decision stays with him, heavy and constant. And the audience feels it too. This is the moment where sympathy becomes complicated. We may understand why he did it, but we can't fully support it anymore. By the end of this section, the story has shifted gears. The rules that guided the season no longer apply. Trust is no longer assumed. Safety is no longer possible. The decision made here doesn't just move the plot forward, it locks it into place. From this point on, every outcome is shaped by this choice, and no one escapes its shadow. As episode 9 moves forward, the story reveals its most painful truth. The real danger was never outside the circle. It was always inside. This section hits hard because the betrayal doesn't come from an obvious enemy. It comes from someone who was trusted, someone who stood close enough to hear fears, plans, and doubts. That closeness is what makes the betrayal feel personal, not strategic. The show takes its time exposing this moment. It doesn't rush the reveal. Instead, it lets small details pile up. A look that lingers too long, a delayed response, information shared at the wrong time. At first, these moments seem harmless, easy to ignore. But once the truth comes out, everything clicks into place. The audience realizes the signs were always there. We just didn't want to see them. What makes this betrayal cut deeper is intention. This wasn't an accident. It wasn't forced. The person who betrays made a choice just as clear as the one made earlier by the central character. And that parallel matters. Episode 9 shows how survival pushes people into the same dark space, even if they start from different sides. One betrayal doesn't cancel out the other. It multiplies the damage. The emotional fallout spreads quickly. Trust that took an entire season to build collapses in seconds. Conversations become guarded. Silence replaces honesty. Characters who once felt safe now feel exposed. No one knows who to believe, and that uncertainty becomes its own threat. The episode makes it clear that betrayal doesn't just break relationships. It rewrites history. Past moments that once felt genuine now feel suspicious. There's also a strong sense of regret hanging over this section. The betrayer doesn't walk away clean. Their face carries the weight of what they've done. Even if the move benefits them in the short term, it costs them something deeper. Respect, belonging, identity. They gain position, but lose connection. And in a world built on power, that loss may prove fatal later. This section also exposes how fragile loyalty really is. The show strips away the idea that anyone is untouchable. Titles don't protect you. Promises don't protect you. History doesn't protect you. When pressure reaches a certain level, everyone becomes capable of crossing lines they once swore they never would. Episode 9 doesn't judge these choices. It simply shows the price. By the end of this section, the audience understands that the damage is permanent. Even if the betrayal is confronted, even if apologies are made, things cannot return to how they were. Something essential has been broken. The team is no longer a team. The family is no longer a family. From this point forward, every character is watching their back, and that tension becomes the new normal. This is the point in episode 9 where everything finally breaks open. Not in a loud, explosive way, but in a way that feels heavy and final. The shocking moment doesn't come out of nowhere. It lands because the episode has carefully removed every safety net. By the time this scene arrives, there are no misunderstandings left. No excuses to hide behind. What happens here is clear, direct, and impossible to undo. The power of this moment comes from how simple it is. There is no chaos surrounding it. No dramatic buildup filled with noise or movement. The scene plays out with control, almost restraint, and that makes it hit harder. The characters involved know exactly what is at stake. They understand that once this moment passes, the story will never return to what it was. That awareness hangs in the air, making every second feel longer. One character, in particular, is forever changed here, not because of what is done to them, but because of what they allow to happen. This is where the show makes a bold statement about responsibility. Episode 9 makes it clear that sometimes the most shocking acts are not violent or loud. Sometimes they are quiet decisions to let something happen, even when you know the damage it will cause. Emotion plays a huge role in this scene, but it is tightly controlled. There are no tears spilling over, no shouting to release the tension. Instead, emotions are locked behind faces that barely move. A small shift in expression carries more meaning than a full speech. The audience is forced to sit with the discomfort, to feel the weight of what's happening without relief. What makes this moment truly shocking is how final it feels. There is no sense of "we'll fix this later." The episode removes that hope completely. Once this scene ends, the consequences begin immediately. Relationships are fractured beyond repair. Power changes hands, and the future becomes something darker and more dangerous than before known.